Welcome back to the Running Wine Mom podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Cieslinski, aka the Running Wine Mom. Today we have a special guest joining us, Sarah Huff, the Senior Manager of Customer and Community at BabyQuip. For those of you who might not be familiar, BabyQuip is revolutionizing family travel by making it as stress-free as possible through their high-quality baby gear rental services. And I know that from experience as well. Sarah has a wonderful journey from being one of the original BabyQuip quality providers to managing a growing community of providers and ensuring top-notch customer service. Today, we'll dive into her role at BabyQuip, explore the challenges and rewards of her job, and get some expert tips on traveling with your younger children. Whether you're a parent, an entrepreneur, or just curious about the world of baby gear rentals, this episode is packed with valuable insights. So without further ado, let's welcome Sarah. Welcome, Sarah.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk all about it. I recently used BabyQuip in April, and I'm excited to share with everyone what they are and what they do. But to start off each episode, we have our wine, and win of the week segment. This is where we share our favorite bottle of wine, vent about something that has been bothering us, and celebrate our recent victories. So grab a glass, take a deep breath, and let's get started. So Sarah, what is your WINE of the week?
So my WINE of this week is Coke Zero, because I'm currently on a no drink right now. I found that since I've had kids, sometimes I go through periods of time where actual alcoholic wine does not go well with my hormones. So I'm sticking to the non-alcoholic Coke Zero for this week.
That's quite all right. And I totally can relate to that. I feel as though sometimes I'm like totally great with it. And then other times I'm like, I think I just need a little bit of a break because it's just not aligning with anything.
Some months I'm like, yes, everything's great. And then some months I'm like, whoa, that's not hitting the right way.
Yeah. But it's great to recognize that. And, as I always say, nothing has to be the way it is all the time. So that's the great thing about it. So Coke Zero it is. And what is your WHINE of the week?
You know what? I'm turning 40 this year. And yay! At the same time, I feel like my body is shutting down a little bit. I am not sleeping as well as I used to, and it comes on all of a sudden. And I don't know how that happens. All of a sudden, one day you're sleeping just fine, and then the next day you can't sleep at all. You have a hard time falling asleep. You have a hard time staying asleep. You have to go pee 7 times in the middle of the night. You don't get any sleep at all, and then you wake up at 4:30 every morning, and that's it. So that's my WHINE of the week. I just feel like I cannot sleep enough now that I'm 40.
And that could be hormonal too, also with it, it's just the ever changing of our bodies. Once we figure out one thing, it's like, okay, now you're going to move on to this next hormonal shift. It's like,
exactly.
Okay.
Once you figure out your body and you're like, I've got this covered, then something else changes and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I was just talking to my cousin about that the other night. And we're just like, what? Like from puberty on, it's just a constant change. Like maybe in your 20s for like 5 years, it was cool. And then
maybe look back at my 20s and think like, what was I even doing?
Yeah, true. So what is your win of the week?
What is my win of the week? I think just having the energy to like maintain the level of activities that my now actual age children are doing. Once you get past the baby toddler stage of life with your kids, then they have sports and activities and swim and parties and friends and, play dates and all kinds of stuff. And it takes so much energy, and I'm just happy at the end of this long weekend that I don't feel totally tuckered out and I made it through all the activities and didn't yell at anybody. So
that is definitely a win. And I growing up for me and my siblings, we were always involved in so many different sports and activities and this and that. And my kids is still in the toddler phase. And I'm like, people are like, you're going to sign them up for soccer? Are you going to do t-ball? I'm like, not yet. No, we will do activities that we could go to when we could go to, because I know once they get to be like 5 or 6, it's just going to go crazy with the schedule. So we are living freely in not the schedule yet, as long as we can.
Actually, when they realize that they can do so many activities, they want to do them all.
Which is great.
And who am I to say no?
So I always like to ask my guests, what is one significant challenge you've successfully navigated, shaping your journey to where you are today? And what is one accomplishment that you are most proud of in life?
Gosh, what is one accomplishment that I'm most proud of in life? Honestly, I was kind of a wild child, wild teenager, wild young adult. And I never thought that I would really get to be here. So I'm really just proud of myself for growing up and being a mature, responsible parent, wife, entrepreneur, business person, business, like working in business, just having a job, a life, and creating some sense of normalcy for my kids and all that kind of stuff. Because I was kind of a little crazy kid for a while, and now I'm responsible and mature and pretty level-headed, and that's pretty much like a win for me. So
That's great. Yeah, no, that is a huge win because I feel as though some people just still don't feel like they have it together at any age, and maybe we'll always have like a little sense of that. But growth is such an important part of life, and to be so that's definitely something to be so proud of. I love that.
yeah.
So the running wine mom, let's start also with a little fitness. What is your favorite way to stay active?
I lift weights almost every day. And I do it, I think people lift weights for a number of different reasons, but I do it to stay less stabby. I tell people that I don't want to stab at my, any in my life because it takes, it releases some of those endorphins. It gets your the good juju going. It gets your blood moving and makes me feel a lot better in the morning, especially since I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I just get out there, lift a couple of weights, get my strength, get my muscles moving, so that I feel a lot better throughout the day, and kind of get some of the power surge out there to start.
That's a
Yeah.
great way to start the day. And lifting is so important, not only for the now, but for the longevity of. I just saw something where it was talking about like overhead presses are good for when you're reaching up for something, or squats are good for when you're lifting your grandchildren up, and or getting off the toilet when you're 80. And I thought of all these different. I'm like, well, I'm not quite there yet, but hopefully all of these things that I'm doing will lead me to a healthy life when I am that age.
I mean, it's not just aesthetics, I think it can be, of course, but
Right.
I mean, it's so important to take care of your body as you get older and just keep moving and functioning and being able to play with your kids and just being able to keep moving and going and doing all the things that you want to continue doing as you get older. That's what's important for me, and just keep being able to keep going, not be broken every day.
Right. So how does your maintaining your fitness routine correlate to the relationship with mental health and physical fitness for you?
It's so important. I mean, I think that the number one reason why I work out is for my mental health. I've had some mental health struggles throughout my entire life. And so physical fitness and physical activity has always played a huge role in that. And I can definitely see when my physical fitness declines, so does my mental health. And so that's kind of one of the first indicators to me when things are going to start taking like a little decline, is when I stop wanting to get up and go to the gym, or stop go for the walks in the morning or whatever. And so it's a good kind of indicator to me, like when things might start taking a turn for the worse. And so I can kind of use that as a gauge for when I need to focus on myself and my mental health. So it's it's huge for me, keeping myself sane and happy and satisfied throughout my life. And it's, I think as a mom, there's sometimes very few things that we can do for ourselves, but that is the almost the only number one thing that my entire family knows, that if I don't get to work out or go for a walk or go to the gym or whatever physical activity I need to do for the day, then I'm not going to be my best self. And if I'm not my best self, then
Right.
might be something to be scared of later that day. Mom needs
Yes.
for herself.
Yeah, and you got to be your best self to be your best self for the kids. And I am such an advocate of that when people, think they don't have enough time for it or I said you got to do it just because you'll be a better person for it. So let's get into your family. Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. So, I am married. I have a wonderful husband. We've been married about 10 years. And we have two little boys. Well, I guess they're not little anymore. They're boy age now. They're 9 and 7.
Wow.
And they're into, all the boy things, swim and the camps and the soccer and the Roblox and the video games and stuff. And we live in Southern California, right by the beach. And so we're just an active family. We bike and scooter and go to the beach and do all the
Fun
typical
stuff.
Southern California family stuff.
Jealous. Kind of close. We're like an hour to 2 hours from the beach. I'm like, I always wish it was just a little tiny bit closer, even though it's not super far to go for like the day or whatever. But I'm like, I wish it was maybe like 30 minutes or 20 minutes from the beach. Beggars
But
can't be choosers.
so close to us, we still don't go.
Yeah,
Just
as often.
the same sand
Yeah.
that really throws me off. I don't
Oh,
like
yeah.
the
I
sand.
know. It's that we were just down the shore this whole weekend. I took my toddlers down the shore for the weekend, and it was like the amount of sand that they just have all over everything. And then me trying to rally two toddlers in an outside shower before bringing them in the house was just, I'm
It's
like, it's like wild. I was like it was just crazy. I'm like,
like
I,
sand directly down into your
I
pants, like
know.
where you get into the car.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, how does this happen? What do you think that you were least prepared for in parenthood?
That is a very funny question because I was just talking to a girlfriend about this the other day. With a lot of things, most things I was unprepared for. But I think the thing that I find myself struggling the most with and the thing that I was most unprepared for was just the emotional kind of needs of your children as they get older, and how much emotional support your children need as they get older. I think, everybody knows what happens when you have a baby and then you have the baby and what it's like to have babies and uh, they don't sleep and then you have to teach them how to walk and then they cry a lot and you're just going to be chasing them around for a while. But I don't think a lot of people really talk about what it's like after they stop being babies and you go from being really physically tired to being really emotionally tired all the time because you're just constantly emotionally regulating them, helping them emotionally regulate themselves. You're emotionally regulating your own self. You're, trying to help them navigate some really tough situations that come up in life and help them navigate their friends group and school and life and just different challenges that come with being a human and being a person. And it's really hard, especially while you're still navigating being a person and growing and changing yourself. So
Mhm.
that is something that I definitely was not expecting or
It's
wasn't really fully prepared for
Yeah,
as a parent. And it's definitely been a trip. Uh,
right,
and it's something that you have to kind of, work at all the time. It's
right.
something you're constantly working at and striving to be better at least I am. And you get it wrong a lot, and I hope I get it right some of the time. And, you
Yeah.
know, I hope they don't have to go to therapy too much later on in life. I've done, but it's a lot of emotional work.
Yeah, and it's very interesting with talking to other parents as well. I feel as though a lot are not prepared for that. And I am also a teacher, and we see kids, and sometimes when you see certain kids who can't regulate their emotions, and then when you do sometimes meet their parents, you're like, okay, well, this kind of makes a lot of sense. But also, I was just talking to my vice principal about this today. are starting a new program on the mental health coordinator, and we have a program that actually has parenting classes, and I'm at a high school level. So, and I was just saying, I think this is such a great thing and opportunity for parents, because maybe they don't know where to get the information and they don't know what the answers are. And we're going to be able to provide them with like resources on how to deal with these tough topics that the kids need help with too. And if you as an adult don't know how to manage your emotions, at least having ideas of how to help them is something so important, which hopefully it'll be good for them. And people will come to it, but we'll see.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, even
Yeah.
just teaching them, like, how to pick out choices to eat, or like decide on things to do every day, or like
Right.
what to do when you're bored, or what to do when you don't know what to do. And
Yeah. So
when you're, even just as an adult, it's sometimes you're like, I don't know what to eat either. You're right. I don't know. I don't know, figure it out together, I guess.
yeah.
So it's hard being it's hard being a kid. It's hard being a human.
It's hard.
Yeah,
So what do you
navigate it? It's really difficult.
Yeah, that's what it takes. It takes a team to really help get it all out. What do you think that your parenting style is?
I think I just go run on vibes. I don't know. I just am
Love
like
that.
and vibes, I guess. I'm probably very gentle parenting. I'm very like a very relaxed, pretty even keel. We don't have like a lot of rules. My main rule is just that I hope that we raise really kind kids. And I think if they're kind, the rest will hopefully fall into place.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, I'm never going to be sure about that until it happens, but that's kind of where we are. I'm a pretty relaxed gal, so I just like to let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, and kindness and compassion is really the main goal. It doesn't matter anything else in my personal opinion. They can be successful or not successful in their job, but to fall back on kindness and compassion is such an important thing, and we need more of those people in the world. So I think that's great.
I feel exactly.
And what is one piece of advice you would give to other parents?
Don't listen to my parenting advice. You know what? Honestly, something that I heard, and so I can't take credit for this, but listen to your kids when they tell you the small things so that they tell you the big things later. I think it's so easy to kind of brush them off as they're telling you the 17th Roblox hack in an hour, or my littlest is really into telling very unfunny jokes over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a joke again and again and again and again and again. But I want them to know that I am listening and I'm hearing what they are thinks important right now, so that whatever they think is important later down the road, they know that I think is important too, and they'll tell me that later down the road, whatever it is that's important to them now. I hope that they continue to tell me what's important to them later, and so you just have to listen to whatever it is, whether it's a terrible joke or Roblox. I
just saw something like over the weekend about the age of like 6 to 11, I think. And it's like really hard as a parent because they're very independent. They don't need you as much. It's kind of easy to just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, okay. And how important it is, like you're saying, to really listen to them. And those are really the molding years of a lot of emotional growth for them. But we don't really see it, which I don't have kids that age, so I'm not really sure if it's true or not. But if you're not paying attention, then like you just said, when they are older, they're not going to connect that they can come to you for those things. So I think that's really great advice.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into BabyQuip. So I recently found out about BabyQuip at a Create Her event. And one of the things that I love so much about it is that it is run by moms essentially, like throughout everything. And it's a, a side job or a regular job, full-time job for a lot of women. And I just really fell in love with that. So I probably explained it terribly because I didn't even explain what it actually was, but I did want to get that into it, like get that in there that I love that it's run by moms. But so can you tell us about BabyQuip and its mission to make family travel stress-free?
Yeah, so BabyQuip is the number one baby gear rental company. So we have a network of quality providers. Those are the folks that rent baby gear to traveling families, local grandparents, local families that are having kids come to visit in locations all over the world. So we have providers in countries all over the world. And if you are traveling and need a crib, a high chair, a car seat, stroller, literally anything, toys, whatever it is to make your trip with children feel more like home, you can rent that gear in whatever location you're traveling to from a local quality provider. And these quality providers, like you said, are moms, baby gear experts, grandparents, entrepreneurs, people who love baby gear, love kids, love family travel, and want to make family travel less stressful. Oftentimes, what is the most stressful part about traveling with kids is all the gear that you have to travel with. And making sure that they have all the accoutrements that just make having kids so stressful
I
because they
know.
so many little things
They
that
do.
to just a lot of stuff
Hmm.
to make their little lives so much better. So you can rent anything, literally anything, wherever you're going with children, and have it delivered to your Airbnb, your hotel, your grandparents' home, aunt and uncle's house, wherever you're staying, cabin, if you're glamping, renting an RV, you can have it delivered, set up in that location. You arrive with your kids and everything's ready and set up for you right there. It started off as a mom who rented baby gear, and who knew what traveling with kids was like and wanted to rent baby gear to other moms. That's how I got involved. I rented baby gear because I had a baby and was like, what am I going to do traveling with this baby? I need a rocking chair and a place to put the baby and this specific one walker that he needs and this place to put, that he only sleeps in this thing. And then we rented the baby gear and it was a miracle.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, I could do that. And I want every other mom traveling with kids to say, this is a miracle. This saved my vacation. This saved my
Hmm.
travel. This made it so much easier. And that's what BabyQuip really strives to do, is just to make traveling with kids less stressful.
Yeah, and that was our experience, exactly what you said. We actually drove down to the Smoky Mountains in April, which is a 12-hour drive
Hmm.
with two toddlers. Crazy. We rented a hiking backpack, stroller, like some fun toys for the kids, and and baby gates. And it was just so nice to, I mean, not that we had a lot of extra space in our car, but we didn't have to worry about those things in the car driving down. I was so amazed at the pristine condition that the stuff came in. It was the ease of it. I rented from a woman named Kelly, and she just immediately, oh my gosh, she she was great. Like she just was texting me right away and had everything up to, and I was honestly nervous to do it because I'm like, are we going to drive 12 hours? When I picked all the stuff and like, are we going to drive 12 hours and we're not going to have any of this stuff? But like from the minute that I pressed send, she was like, hey, this is, me. And the communication was just amazing. And I
Yep.
couldn't have been happier to have, and I tell everyone, about it. And so many of my friends do already know about it, but I just think it's such a great thing that you guys are doing. So you were an original provider, correct?
Yes.
You were one of the original ones. So how did you originally get into it besides, maybe hearing about it? And how has the company evolved since you've been involved in it?
So I rented baby gear from the original person who started the company in Santa Fe. And she was like, hey, we want to make this huge. Do you want to do it in Southern California? And I was like, yeah, I just had a baby and I had no plans to go back to work, but I kind of wanted to like keep my brain fresh, and I'd always wanted to run my own business. And I thought I could do that. And so I started, like my little side gig business out in Los Angeles. And it's honestly been, and I mean, I tell this to everybody, and I'm not just saying that because saying this because I work for BabyQuip, but BabyQuip has been so absolutely life-changing for me. And obviously I manage our community of quality providers. And so I've heard that it's been life-changing for a lot of our quality providers, but it has been so unbelievably life-changing for me in so many different ways. But in the way that I started as a quality provider with a newborn, just being at home all day by myself saying like, what am I going to do with this baby? How am I going to make money for my family? To being able to run my own business, make money for my family, be able to stay home with the kids, keep my brain fresh and moving, meet a whole bunch of new people. I mean, at this point, I've met thousands and thousands and thousands of people, customers and quality providers, and just, a number of other types of people too. But it's just been so amazing and so fun for me, but just such a game changer for me. Just seeing BabyQuip from a very, very, very small startup. I mean, there was 5 of us, you just thinking back to the meetings that we would have on Zoom, and it would just be like the 5 of us, to now, it was so small, to now, I mean, we have over 2,000 providers. Our corporate company is, I think, about 20 full-time employees plus
Wow.
interns and, contractors and stuff like that. Just to see it grow that much is mind-blowing. Just the startup life is so fun and so engaging and a little scary sometimes. And you'll learn a lot, and it can be stressful sometimes. You just, working for a startup, you get to have your hands in almost every different part of the company. And I've just been able to hone so many different skills that I didn't think I would ever get to hone. It's just been such a fun and exciting 7 years. No, 8 years.
That's
years.
awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it's been such a fun and exciting ride.
And now you're the senior manager of customer and community. So what do you do in that role?
I manage our support desk for customers. Anytime a customer emails our support desk, I manage all the service that they receive, and then I manage all the service that our quality providers get. And then I act as a liaison between our quality providers and the BabyQuip corporate team. So anytime a quality provider, they want to see something from BabyQuip, or they want to get their needs met, have their voices heard, I help kind of bridge that gap and get their voices heard. And as part of that, I help those entrepreneurs learn to run their business better, learn to run their BabyQuip business better, and just become better business people, I hope.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe ask them if I do.
I'm sure you're doing great.
All around, I just try to support our quality providers with whatever they need.
Yeah, that's a great role.
Yeah.
So what specific strategies do you use to maintain quality control and ensure BabyQuip meets high standards?
Even before I started working for BabyQuip, just when I was a quality provider, our brand image was everything to me. And I knew from the start, if I could make sure that every quality provider took our brand image as seriously as I took it, then we would be able to go far. And so that is something that I really try to impart on our quality providers. So part of my role is to really make sure that our training is up to snuff, make sure that our quality providers are getting the training that they need, getting their questions answered, and getting their needs met. We run a number of different programs. We have a great community of quality providers on Facebook, and we have a mentor program. We have training resources and meetings and all kinds of things that we run so that our quality providers can talk to each other and learn from each other, learn from our resources that we have at BabyQuip. And we, from the second that they interview to be a quality provider, throughout the entire time that they are a quality provider, we really try to uphold some very strict standards. Obviously, cleanliness of the gear is huge. You saw that when you rented your gear.
Yeah.
That's very important. Our safety standards, from everything from toys to car seats, high chairs to cribs. We track expiration dates and recalls. We have a whole team that just manages our inventory from all of our quality providers to make sure that what we're renting on the site is safe and nothing's recalled and everything's, hasn't expired or anything like that. So we have a lot of different safety nets in place so that we can make sure that our customers are receiving the best quality gear. And of course, we have a great support team in place. We have a great service team who's at the desk right now answering questions and making sure that our customers get the support that they need. And we consider our quality providers our frontline customer support because they really work with their customers first. They're their own business people. And so if we can teach them how to manage their own business, there's very little that we have to do on the back end to kind of quality control because they have their own quality control. And our providers really take their business and BabyQuip very seriously. So we have very few issues.
Yeah. Like I said, our stuff was, it seemed brand new. The way that it was which I was very impressed with. But can you explain the cleaning process? Obviously, that's one of the biggest things as a parent. You want to make sure that it is, and what happens after or before the gear gets to the family.
Sure. Also have a cleaning company. So we have BabyQuip Cleaning, where, families can get their baby gear cleaned by a cleaning expert. So all quality providers go through the same cleaning training. And it's a 5-step process with proficiency process and products being the highlight kind of this cleaning process. So we ensure that our quality providers are going through the same processes for each item. We make sure that they're going and reading the manufacturer guidelines for each product. And this is particularly important for car seats because those are life-saving devices. So we take car seat safety it's very important to us. So we make sure that our quality providers, number one, are reading the manufacturer guidelines and cleaning according to those guidelines. So each manufacturer is going to have different guidelines as far as how each product is cleaned. So our quality providers are trained to clean according to manufacturer guidelines with organic, child-friendly cleaners. And so the process is going to be a little bit different for each product, but they're cleaned before each rental and then after each rental comes back. So before it's stored. And then, spot cleaned on the way back out so that we can ensure that it's coming in clean and going out clean. And we also have all of our products on the website are insured. So we have general liability insurance, which also is an additional safety net for our customers. So not only do our quality providers take cleaning very seriously, but so does BabyQuip. And we also take that safety standard very seriously.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that is one of the most important things, like I said, for parents. So if someone wanted to become a BabyQuip provider, how would they do that?
Yeah, so they can just go to babyquip.com/sign up. There's a little, like sign up form. And then they would kind of go through some of our reading material. There's obviously a lot that goes into being a quality provider. So we want to make sure that people who want to be quality providers are prepared. So we have a lot of training materials, but then you would go through a little interview process with one of our interviewers who are all very nice, and explain the process, answer any questions, make sure that you have all the information about how it's the procedure and process goes, what to expect. There are some areas in the United States specifically that might have a little bit of a hold list. There are some areas that we're actively looking for quality providers. So we want to make sure that our customers have enough quality providers to choose from. And then there's a little bit of a setup fee, and we help you build your website, set up your inventory, set up your web page, and then you get ready to go and you go live on our website. BabyQuip really makes it pretty easy to become an entrepreneur. We do a lot of the marketing for you. We have a proprietary platform that really makes it very easy to set up your web page for you, your inventory. We have a whole back-end management system that makes it really easy for quality providers to manage their inventory, their schedule, their finances, everything. BabyQuip is making it really, really easy to run their own business.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, as that was just one of the things that I feel like my eyes like lit up when I found out that was who was running everything was Local Moms. I loved that. So kind of in line with BabyQuip, but do you have any, based on your experience, what are some essential tips for families traveling with young children?
Rent baby gear.
Yes, yes. Seriously.
This is something that my husband and I tell each other every single time we travel. And even still, and our kids are a little bit older, but we look at each other in the eyes, and we say, we are doing this together. We are not mad at each other. We are not going to get divorced because of this trip right now. Okay. So we have to do this together. We basically just make this pact. Like, we know that this is potentially going to be very irritating at some point, and it is not each other's faults. We are in this together. Let's just make it an adventure. Let's try to just go with the flow. As you know, I'm just go with the vibes kind of gal. I'm a pretty relaxed person, but I really just try to find the funny in a lot of different things and find the adventure in a lot of things. And the rest of it, I just really try to let go, because there will be so many annoying, unpredictable things that happen to you.
Right.
I know not everybody is a fan of a tablet or a phone or a screen or whatever. I am, and I want as much screen time as possible while we're on an airplane.
Listen,
I want all the Wi-Fi and all the snacks. So if you don't let your kids have like sugar or red dye 40 or any of those things, now, like traveling, that's the time to bring out snacks and the joy.
It is. It's just like survive it. And that is, we're within our regular life, we don't really use tablets with the kids. Obviously, they're so young, but like I just came back from the shore and I'm like, you guys, watch it in the back. You guys enjoy. And I'm like, wow, this is so much more relaxing, because this was the first time that I let them use it in the car going down the shore. And we go back and forth a lot. And I'm like, why have I not been doing this before? It's for an hour and a half. Like, it's not that big of a deal. They're not going to be traumatized or, whatever. And I just, so I totally agree with that. It's like when you're traveling, whatever you can do.
Goes.
Uh-huh.
No, if you want to walk through the airport with one shoe on and one sock, then
Go for it. Whatever makes you happy.
Do whatever you want. But like, if you take as much stress off of yourself as possible by bringing as few things in your hands as possible. That's what
So I love that. Are there any exciting initiatives or projects that BabyQuip is currently working on?
Yes. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I can actually.
I was going to say that you could share.
Well, we are working on our party rentals side of things. So right now, what's really popular, and I'm sure everybody's seen it kind of like on social media, is all like the soft play party, you know, all those like really beautiful setups with like the like not the bounce houses, but like the foam pits and the ball pits and the slides and all that kind of stuff. Well, a lot of our quality providers do such gorgeous party setups. So we're really doing a big push on that. And that's really great for a lot of our local markets. That's huge for their local mom market. You know, they don't necessarily have to advertise to a traveling parent. They can really deal with their local neighborhood or their mom groups or whatever. And that is something that's really big and exciting at BabyQuip right now, is that soft party. And so I think there might be some other exciting things coming at BabyQuip. I'm not allowed to share them totally yet, but if you sign up for updates with BabyQuip, you will be the first to know. And I think that there's some very exciting things coming.
Ooh, that is exciting. I can't wait to see. What is your long-term vision for BabyQuip?
Mine or
just in general? Yeah, could be either.
Well, I mean, I would love to see BabyQuip like take over the world, obviously.
It should.
It honestly should. I think that every traveling family should use BabyQuip. I love to see that. I am honestly still so surprised when people are like, "Oh, you can rent cribs when you travel?" I'm like, "Yes. Get on it. You can rent these gorgeous, amazing strollers when you go to Disneyland or Universal. You don't have to rent the plastic ones when you get to the theme park. You can rent like gorgeous, comfortable ones with like fans and parent consoles. You can rent anything." And I'm still so amazed at people that don't know that you can rent here. And I would love for every single family to be able to rent and know about renting baby gear. That would be my dream come true.
It is, and as I said, we just did it for the first time, and it was definitely life-changing. So I agree with that. All right. Well, you've provided us with so much great information. So that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much, Sarah, for giving us all the information about BabyQuip. I hope all the listeners enjoyed hearing about how BabyQuip is making family travel easier and hearing Sarah's insights into the world of baby gear rentals. It's truly inspiring to see how you balance your professional role with your personal life, all while contributing to a community that supports families and entrepreneurs alike. If you're interested in learning more about BabyQuip, becoming a quality provider, or simply exploring their services, be sure to visit their website at babyquip.com, which I will link. And don't forget to check out their blog for more tips and stories on family travel. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it. You can follow me on Instagram at @therunningwinemom_. And Sarah, where can the listeners find you?
You can find me at babyquip.com/Sarah1.
All right. And I will link that. So thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, you are strong, you are capable, and you are all amazing. Until next time, keep running, keep sipping, and keep embracing the joy of motherhood. Cheers. And I will be back next Tuesday.